Blessings and welcome forward to Reasonings right here at the Tree of Life. I'm your host, the Great Owl, in the presence of my co-host, brother Ramon Singh.
Perfect
love, brother.
Yes, sir.
Perfect love. Awesome, beautiful day. Hope things are in order, in esteemed frequency of definite goodness in your life, and that the Most High, Divine Yeshua, Divine Yahuwah, is being praised irregardless of pronunciation of word, sound, or idiom, that the true spirit of light and love is resonating within your spirit, covering over your families and your endeavors that are wholesome and beneficial to the experience, of not just your family, but the greater good, the community, in communal harmony. It's such a interesting, current experience in the times out in the networks of information. Many say they're bought and paid for by many different pundits. However, there are still bastions of information, beacons of true light, that is, amidst all that darkness and pseudo lights. You have these neon lights, these, cold cathode lights, and these warm anode lights, but all of them in the atomic essence is not the celestial lights, and not the celestial light, and not the celestial life. So, while we are seeking towards that, we'll find ourselves as human beings being offset by a lot of the requirements of human life. It's hard in a lot of ways to feel at peace in terms of the choices that you're making as the outcomes you want for your experience. It's kind of difficult, right? People have needs, and needs in relation to the environment in which they're in, right? And to the stratification in which they observe. So, in terms of status, even labels and titles, humans strive to find value in these things. How does an individual make themselves really stronger? So offering today is how do one makes themselves stronger? How do you make yourself stronger? How is it possible to improve one's strength? Brother Singh.
Yes, brother Great Owl. One, how to make yourself stronger? Well, first of all, really and truly, are the Most High make us stronger. You see me? It's not self.
Yes.
We not depend upon self and say, me. First of all, Most High. I have to talk to the Most High and say, Most High, help me get stronger. You see me firstly?
Hallelujah.
You see me? Depend upon the Most High. Because the Most High have the right way to do it. Because if I say we could do it our way, you see me? And that's how everything will go wrong.
Can't say that for real.
Yes, I.
It's the essence of learning to first trust the Most High to set the right course in your thinking. Because the thinking will lead before the behavior. It's going to be the template, the blank slate in which you're drawing on, and what you're drawing from to inspire the outcomes. A lot of people, the essence of experiencing faith through an outcome is lost because you have the church and many other institutions which are fallible, and God is infallible. But there's fallible institutions and fallible people representing an infallible absolute, right? So we, the individuals, will always have faults. So the need to be stronger relates to the essence that by nature the cycles of life. If you want to always be in the absolute highest of perception, to me, then you're going to make yourself weak. So strength to me, I'm going to lay it out, it's not just a physical thing or a move towards absolute power. I'll define strength for you as how I see it. How do I make myself stronger? First, your faith is a foundation stone. Hallelujah. It's like a seed planted. Now that seed is pulling from the very source of the environment in which it exists to have nourishment and energy. And we live in a living cosmos where the elements are always here, present and eternal. So it also has that in the higher realms and the lower realms to pull from. Transpose that to a human experience. The human beings have the experience of, great philosophy, religion, spirituality, the institutions, our family law, family culture, what we call traditions, colloquial belief systems. They have some form of thing which sets a template, that we use to assess, our behaviors or our thoughts, where we're going. Now, when we are beginning to put things in context, most of our ancient cultures will teach us of a moral building up of the spirit, right? Your thought process, you got the divine principles right, then you start to have the right thoughts. If you have the right thoughts now, you can assess situations clearly and you can design outcomes clearly, right? Say for instance, you might not have a great mind to look outside of your community, then you start to figure out how it is that I fit within my community, right? So one of the first sense of strength is your ability to assess. You gotta be strong in your assessment. So to be stronger, knowing that you are rooted in love, in truth, have a true principle, a true understanding of creation and your creator, and having that experience coming through all of the institutions, it's teaching you. It's teaching you aspects of self-development. Now, when we are overly identified with the forms and not the spirit that the form is coming from, we're in problems. Because here's where strength and its understanding really comes to balance. We as humans live in a world where our highest belief and intention and idea seems to us to be outside or somewhere else apart from where we are. So as most beings, your tendency is to look to evidence to show forms of strength. So you want to say that I am always strong in my faith, I'm always strong in my belief, I'm always strong in taking care of my family, I'm always strong, but yet still at certain points, when another experience of which you're unfamiliar comes in, you fall apart because you have not developed a strength that is based in the proper assessment of things. So that is the first thing. Assess things properly. See where in which you are deficient in certain attributes that would improve your overall understanding of life, because that's always important, because the outer bands are always changing, so it's the patterns of mind that will always outlast the patterns of the external observation, right? The mind patterns, it really colors what you're seeing. So if you are in the midst of paradise but with the wrong thoughts, it's like you're in hell. So a lot of people have disempowered themselves, have made themselves weaker by not assessing situations clearly and being able to see themselves in relation to the environment and the influence the environment is having upon their thinking. So you can realize, oh, that is an environmental consciousness coming from the people who are most impressing upon my spirit and my physical space. That is their energy versus my own. And so when you start recognize your own, you don't have to contend with the communal energy. You learn now to find your place amongst it. Find how it is that you can improve the experience. So in finding your purpose or finding a purpose for your presence, you increase your strength, because through observation, you start assess and see the environment, the scenarios, then you can assess yourself where you fall in line with the scenarios. When you start to say you fall in line with the scenarios, because we are social creatures, we need cooperation. If it's a church community now, you find the right church. You realize a certain church you go to, you're a prophesying believer, you see the spirits, and there are these kind of postmodernists who just wants to say, thank you, listen, hello, hi. You know, they're not the people who are spirit-filled. You need to find the right environment. After assessing the different places that you've gone, you now know, here it is where I can grow in my spirituality. In growing in your spirituality now, it takes real function now. That's the next part. So after you've done the assessment and you see the environment and you find your place, it takes real function. Now passion is intense, but compassion is much more intense. Hey, but passions will lead to compassion if you're in the right environment. So having a drive increases your strength in life. So most times, why we disempower ourselves is because we lose our drive, we lose that inspiration, that purpose, that reason for us doing things. So people might say, yeah, isn't food make you strong and the proper eating? Well, that comes along the context of understanding what is necessary, what is deficient. If you're eating improperly, when you recognize that your low swings of mood and energy is based upon improper nutrients, well, that would come in your assessment. So it's not necessarily that it is the food that makes you strong. It is the mental processes that you would have been fostering to make you recognize that the food imbalance is having an effect, right? The functional imbalance is having an effect. The improper assessment of things is having an effect. So now, when you find your place now, and you start function within what you now know is of benefit, you start improve. As I was saying to you before, you start feeling pleased about yourself. You start feeling pleased about the situation, and it improves your strength, you start now recognizing, I can and I have done things. Hallelujah. Yeah? So it's not just going and pumping weights, it's not just eating the proteins, it's literally going through the situations of life, but with a mind to assess it properly, to estimate it, yeah, and to triangulate it, to measure it appropriately. Because sometimes them say soft answer, turn it away, right. You might be right, you know, but then when you blast up, the person don't hear what is right, them hear what is wrong. That causes a conflict, that weakens your place amongst others who is looking for the person to fill that position, to be of a certain temperament, and you just prove that you weren't of that temperament. You have weakened yourself. So the concept of strength is as much theoretical, as much spiritual, hallelujah, as it is physical and functional. Brother Singh.
That's a high one. You remember a Bible verse? In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. You see me?
Absolutely.
And in order to get true strength, the most I put you through certain situations, you know, to grow spiritually, for strengthen up spiritually, you see me? Mentally, emotionally, you know, physically. Because even physically, you know, we have one time when we start use 5-gallon bottles, water bottles. And one day I bring it upstairs and I put it down wrong, you know?
Wow.
Like I have 2 in my hand, but I'm never strong enough to actually put it down properly, so the buckle overcome my muscle strength and ring out my hand.
Wow.
You know? And my hand twist up and swell up and could I hardly use my hand. I'm looking at myself and saying, no man, a little buckle, well it's a big buckle, you know, but
yes.
for my kind of strength, you see
yes,
what I say, a little buckle like that. It's not supposed to injure my hand like this.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And after that,
Yes.
when we see the buckle them, we start lift them up, man.
Yes.
And grip them good.
Yes.
And start work them and work the muscle and work the hand, you know? And me even glad say, me reach to a place where me have to use the water buckle.
Yes.
And collect pipe water.
Oh.
You know?
See, I use it for purpose
yeah,
now.
man, so me I use enough water buckles now, you know?
Wow.
And never again will a water buckle ring out my hand.
I have fixed the technique.
Yeah,
you
man.
fix the imbalance, and that is something what we can never take for granted enough, you know. Because even with an athlete wants to increase muscle mass, but what is the purpose of increasing muscle mass? So that the mind can have its way in the body. Because ultimately he wants to, or she wants to run faster. They want to have an exceptional, you know, physical presentation of, you know, what is the physical prowess, right? They want to make that high jump, they want to do that long jump, right? So the conditioning in the body, in the being, is of utmost importance. But the essence of how do one condition the body, like within your faith, is to spend time in the Word. Then let's use that. You spend time in the Word and read the Word with the spirit of true assessment, which is discernment. If you don't like the word assessment, which is another word for discernment, is the spirit of true discernment. Read the Word, go into the spirit of the Word and see what we call the archetype, the template. What means that it exists beyond just you and me having this experience. Others have had it, so it runs along a certain course. So you can assess things, right, to change, you know, how you respond in the situations that you're going through, right? So with discernment, you would know, okay, I am doing this improperly, right? I am not spending enough time developing my sense of, you know, respect, or my sense of love or self-understanding, because physically I'm fine, I'm eating well, I am, you know, in the bodily energy frequency, it's strong, hey, but still I am, as an athlete, not jumping as high as I want to, not running as far as I want to. So here we are about strength again. What's causing that? They are building muscles to create or to manifest a thought. So the physicalization isn't the essence of what strength is. It's a manifestation of strength on the physical plane. But that physical strength is to achieve a spiritual outcome, an idea. You want to run faster, it's a concept. So all you're doing is using thought, the very nature of your ways, to desire your outcome. So to be stronger, you have to set the mind in order so that the physical being and the agents in the outside can align to that outcome. So eating right, sleeping right, then what's wrong? Why you're not up there at that level of speed you want to be, at that level of achievement, at that level of being the prayer warrior you want to be? It's not a lack of commitment. You're not understanding the dimensions, the complete dimensions of reality. First of all, the next thing is this. After you got all of that done, you got to relax. You got to find the true motivations in life, the love for it, yeah? The joy that comes from simply doing something, yeah? Simply finding one's purpose where there is no target that is set as to why you are doing it. It is not designed to specify an outcome set based upon a rigid desire. I'm here, I'm explaining, I'm expressing, I want to just be the best athlete I can, the best singer I can. I just want the Lord to fill my soul. I just want to be a vessel. I just want to be used, something more than just what the physical mind and concepts can do. Lo and behold, something that is authentic is finding its way into the thoughts. It's finding its way into one's understanding. It's like you have a feeling, something greater than anything you can calculate and say, well, scientifically I put 2.4 more ounces of pressure on my legs, or I created a shoes called Viper to suck the air and to propel me forward. The mind in the spirit, in alignment with your creator, lightens, hallelujah, the load, yeah, increases your awareness, makes you stronger, yeah. You know, realize that strength is true freedom, it's true happiness, it's true freedom, it's true ability to express, exercise, and it be one and the same. So if you want to go there tomorrow and build something for the greater good, by each thought you're having, consider it as the pound or the pound weight of the building block that's building up that temple of your desire, right? The thoughts are that rising agent, like the leaven, right? The Spirit of God is that rising agent, like the baking powder. Brother Singh, hallelujah.
Yes, sir, I love you. How you bring it to the thoughts, you know, I call the thought world. Many things are happening in the thought life, you know, of people's mind.
Yes.
Even, as I say, the holy of holiest of prayer warriors, you know,
Yes.
so-called,
Yes,
if we say
yes.
the so-called, you know. In their mind, them probably too negative, you know. Them a war so much, them become a negative being.
Haba,
You know, and not remember about
Hashem.
love. You see me? Forgiveness. Yes,
Hallelujah.
Yeah, man. I fight down them brothers and sisters in the church instead of share love and sense of, you know, understanding and, you know, encouragement, motivation. You know?
It. Yeah.
Them you have some
Hallelujah.
places, them are excommunicate you. You know?
True that.
You know?
True.
Yeah.
You made a few wrong moves, you're gone.
Where the forgiveness? You see me?
Yes. And they think they're strong, and they think they're strong for doing that, you know.
Yes,
When they say, we cast you out, we banish you. And they're so weak.
Yeah, man.
They're so weak that if they were filled with that strength of self, of sense of self and being and the love of God,
Yes, sir.
how could another's error cause such a rupture, hallelujah,
Yeah,
within
man.
yourself?
Yeah, for
Weak.
the person who's supposed to be holy, become a
Weak.
demon
Yeah,
for the
weak.
other person.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
so the other person will say, no man, you're a demon.
Yes,
You know?
you're weak.
Because where's the love? You know? Where's the understanding?
Yes,
Yeah,
brother.
man. Because true strength is showing true love.
Yes.
You see me?
Yes. Yes.
You see me?
Absolutely.
Because love is kind,
Yes.
love is patient.
Yes.
You see me? Love does not envy, does
Yes.
not boast.
Yes.
You see me?
Yes.
So, to show love is to be
Hashem.
humble and meek
Yes.
and understanding.
Yes.
You see me? So that's a true strength.
That is true strength.
What come from the Father? Remember, so the Father said, if any of you want wisdom, ask.
Yes.
You see me?
Absolutely.
Enough people are pray at daytime and say, Father, please, how am I going to pay my light bill? Please help me, you know? Never I go pray for say, Father, can I have wisdom, please?
Yes.
You see me?
Yes.
And when you have the wisdom, then you're not going to worry about light bill because you have the knowledge now and the wisdom to sort out your bills.
Yeah, start out your life.
And yeah.
Exactly, because that's in it, you know. Exactly, you said it here, brother. Go far. I can go back to a statement. You love, seek ye first the kingdom of Yah and all of his righteousness. Yeah, and all else shall be added.
Yes,
it's
sir.
like people think the strength comes from satisfying the fear. Has the fear, like the ego, make them do that? That's why they're doing that. It's false balance. It's like, oh, I follow this pattern, maybe the dominant pattern. If you run faster, let's use the running in another sense. If you run faster and you get the attention of people, if you jump higher and you get the attention of people, it is thus that this behavior is acceptable, which is, I am, right? And so the sense of, oh, that is strong because I pumped 580 pounds on a bench press or on a deadlift, right? And they say, that is strong. But here is what strength is. Being faced with opposition to your way of life, to your belief, to your physical safety, to your intent for life, to your worldview, to your outlook, and still have to face that person in the eye and not move yourself from a place of love. Still treat that person as if that person is kin, because in true spirit, that person, hey, though being opposite in behavior or thought, is kin, right? And the true love in you teaches you a sense of what? Acceptance, forgiveness, tolerance, right? It's something that is within it. Try to express that in that scenario versus just being the guy or the girl who is getting all the attention for some seemingly physical or mental prowess that leads to an egoic outcome. They say, well, of course that person is strong. When conflicts come and the outcomes do not satisfy the ego of the one who thinks that they are powerful, then they are debased, right? Because they have exalted themselves, then they are debased and brought down to humanness. Is embarrassment. So therefore the outcomes show that they're weak, because people will say, look what you are brought to. Oh, great Babylon, Babylon the Great, how hast thou fallen? So what people thought was examples of greatness was examples of weakness. Greatness and goodness and true strength was being able to be tolerant, to be loving, to be kind, to be forgiving, to be merciful, to operate within a world that is not seeing things completely as you are, but still greet the day with love and extend it in experience. That is true strength. To yet still want to get up tomorrow and face a world that has traumatized you, raped you, dishonor you, shot you, tried to run you over with a car, to love individuals who have consistently from within the ethnic groups heard slurs at you, who have tried to constantly block opportunities for you. You have to live in a world and get up and face people who call you names based upon the fact of the way you appear physically. Maybe you have a physical handicap or a psychological handicap, and you have to face this every single day, and you get up and you smile with all your differences of behaviors and attitudes, and you face the world. Right? And they told you could never get pregnant and you would never have a family, and you got pregnant, got married, and you had a family. Or you got married, got pregnant. I'm not going to play your game. Got married, got pregnant, got married. To me, it's nature, right? Give thanks to those who are systematic. All beautiful. Yet, life came in its harmony, though they said it wouldn't happen, because your faith was strong. It made you strong. You endured past the naysayers. You endured past your own fear. That is strength. You had reasons to hate these people. You had reasons to dislike these functionaries and how they operated. You had reasons not to go there, reasons to stop their future opportunities, but you did not. You made way where there was no way. Yeah? You made a possibility that they could even be in the space where they would improve themselves. Not at your behest, but make something more out of what seemed limiting. You didn't close off the door. You didn't turn your back. You didn't say, they're not Christians, they're not following this and I don't care about them. You extended true love. Yeah, that's strength. And that strength will make your bloodline, hallelujah, be here for generations to come. Your events and the examples that you've made be written about, yeah, and be contained within the thoughts, the genes, the nostalgia, the attitudes of those you've impacted is going to continue in their generation. So when you are strong, it does manifest as a strength of destiny. Right principle causes that. You're going to find the right wife, right, as a man, the right husband as a woman, right? Isn't that what strength is? You're going to learn to have the wisdom because you asked the Father for it, and you put yourself in the understanding to function in that wisdom and that knowledge, right? So you're going to build your family in the right and proper way. And your family is going to learn to operate within the context of this earth plane. Am I not correct, brother? And within operating within the context of this earth plane, going up with the ups and the downs and the rise in the season, the dry and the wet and the aloof and the burnt and all that, and to the continuity, you're going to know all this, you're going to continue. Isn't that going to be strength? And then you're going to be third and fourth generation, and you're going to build churches, tabernacles, and temples to the Lord, right? You're going to continue to build communities, to build libraries, yeah, as you go up the ladder of opulence and economic well-being, right? Isn't that strength based on one's spirit, one's spirituality, one's faith, one's foundation in the understanding of what true strength is? Comes through love, comes through forgiveness, comes through kindness, comes through the Most High. Hallelujah. Brother Singh.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. The strength start from the Most High. And it start from your mind. You have to strengthen up your mind, you see me? Strengthen up your thought life, you see me? Because you can't have too much negative in the thought world. Or none at all. You know, if you have no negative in your thought world, you're not supposed to be thinking negative things, you know? That the only things that only you and God alone know, you know? Negative for out our life, and you need strength to do that. You need to strengthen up the mind, you see me? It's not easy. You have to practice. It's a practice in everything. You just have to practice until it become perfect.
True that, man.
You see me? So most of we get taught how to think negatively. You see me? Most of the time.
True.
You know?
Sad but true.
Yeah, man. Because you don't know, you have the movies, the music, you know? And even the community and how the people just negative, you know? That they rub off on people, you know? People that kiss teeth all the time and angry and, you know?
It's a clash, man.
That is a negative being. And that is a weak being. You see me?
Haba.
Have a strengthen up for practice love.
Yes.
For practice humbleness. You see me? Just humble and wise. You see me?
Yeah, well, because they're going to live long enough to have the value of humility. To see that they got to see so much of this life. To see fulfillment in their families, in their desires, you know, in the faith. If you want to leave a legacy based upon the spirit and the function of serving the Most High God,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Yeah, they're gonna see the worth of it. It's just you have to be humble and wise and make sense of the nonsense around you. It's something that comes with, you know, your own responsibility, because we know we've been socialized by our family and our parents, and their limitations is not their fault, right? So you don't want to make their limitations become your limitations. You don't have to wrestle with your parents, just as you don't want to wrestle with yourself. So in learning true wisdom is like learning to assess situation better, discern things more clearly, see how things function, right? And don't just grab the first opinion and run with it, right? Because we still are talking about strengthening yourself, because you say opinion, yes, because it's a spirit, it's an energy, right? Because when you grab negative opinions and you push it inside yourself, it takes out part of your function. It takes up part of your drive. It's like the drive means the functionality of something, the power being manifest in motion, right? To have outcomes. So if you interfere with the drive, right, something comes in and messes up the momentum or the timing or the sequence, yeah, of the calibration, things are going to go out of order. Things are going to go out of alignment. You're going to all of a sudden become melancholy, or after a while become depressive and self-hating And so therefore you're losing drive. You become bitter, angry, tense, anxious, overly aggressive, and sometimes overly stimulated, because a lot of people 10 times goes to illicit substances, they overuse things, even the regular things that are not considered narcotics, they overuse them, they overeat, they oversex, they overexercise, they overachieve, and it weakens the sense of true equilibrium, right? Because, you know, again, the strength is being able to adapt, grow, and still maintain that loving nature, because the higher you climb, the more you see. Try to be here longer, try to have a design pattern to be here longer on earth, so therefore you have to be strong to survive the seasons. Sometimes plenty, sometimes none. Sometimes a little, and then some. But the essence of it is, got you a 2 video them my aunt we know, so I have to just take care of that one. Yeah. So you have to go through the seasons. Sometimes you'll be rained out. Sometimes you'll be washed out, flooded out, burnt out, blown out. Yeah, sometimes you're buried under the thicket of dust, right? True character is learning to understand through discernment, assessment, all the seasons of your life and life fortune. And after seeing the seasons, you know after winter, then comes spring. After spring comes summer. After summer comes autumn. In the cycles of what is certain, right? Things follow a pattern, and the patterns is unchanging. Hallelujah, right? Put in the good seeds in the good soil, prepare the environmental field to be strong, right? When you see your children having aspirations, even if you do not understand it, if you see that they're animated with a passion, and you understand that your child is also compassionate, not just driven to be an achiever, then facilitate the environment in which the child can truly grow. Don't just allow the child to be coached by somebody who's going to say all the time, gold, gold, gold. You need to be the head of the debating team and bring gold to a school championship cheerleading. Don't send your child into that configuration as an expression of their strength. Allow the child to express in that manner. But remember, the true strength comes from one being at peace with oneself, having absolute love in oneself, confidence, and in that confidence to achieve whatever desires. That means that when you encourage your child, yeah, to be compassionate as well as passionate, right, the physical outcomes of manifest strength, yeah, will be cultured by the internal compassions, right? So when you are a parent, yeah, good to make sure the child does the physical things, but give them space to allow that true strength to grow, because that's where it's growing from, the ability to solve problems and to interpret the environment in which they're in the way that it makes sense to them, and then help them to translate it, right, to the environment. How you do that? By asking them questions when you engage. When you think someone is off their whackers, you don't follow up on their questions. When they ask you questions, you dismiss it. But when you are truly interested and you love, you follow up the questions with answers. Right? If they say, Mommy, I'm building my new space station. I'm just going with the spirit or whatever. I'm building my new space station. And you say, is it for people or is it going to be for robots? Oh, Mom, it's going to be for both people and robots. So how would you design such a thing? Well, Mommy, I have a theory that you have to decompress air, and you don't know about decompression of air. You don't know about atmospheric pressure. But guess what? You don't want to tell your child, oh, just come to be a mechanic because he knows how to put things, or be an electrician because that'll pay his bills, because you don't think what he's talking about makes sense. You're going to weaken your child. Haba. You're going to weaken your child to fit into a mold, and that strength that's going to make him who he is in those ideas that he's espousing, and how he's going to develop those ideas into value. How is she going to develop those mathematical theorems that she has in her head into practical machines, services, things that can help us. Those things that she's drawing, how it's going to become a way to help us in the future. How it will be technology to help us. Not the stuff just to get the grade, but the stuff that she's focused on. The stuff that she's obviously drawn to. It's not fashion just for popularity. It's clothes that she's doing to restore dignity. It's an idea she has. She's strong. She's got a thought that she can change something that many don't think they can change. So we have talented, powerful children in our lives. A lot of people do, and they weaken them because we live in a society that tends to weaken a lot of us, and we succeed to it. Power is never ceded, it has to be seized. The powerful, yeah, the strong, and this strength we're talking about isn't ego strength, it's the strength of spirit, personage, and faith. That is something in the individual, and it extends from you as you learn principle, as you learn to love more. You find ways to express it. And when you are approved and not rejected and accepted, you do it more and more. And you become more dynamic at it. And it increases, right? And you teach others how likewise to do. A strong person is not afraid if 100 wants to take pattern from you. You become teacher, they become apprentice. It doesn't matter if she's admiring your style because you are not threatened. You know yourself. 10,000 ideas will come from your mind, not one. So the essence of it is true strength differs. You don't contend. Are you free? Brother Singh, before we go over here.
Yes, aye, man. The most I just remind me about weakness. You see me, everybody have weaknesses. You see, when a Christian truly overcome their weakness, that is when their true strength arise. You see me?
Hey.
So, the Most High bless we with the weakness. So when we do know Him and overcome the weakness, that's how the true strength there in your being and in your soul.
Yes.
Because the weakness them a hold back your strength. You know? You see me?
Straight up.
So once you overcome the weakness them, that's how you going to attain true strength. You see me? So the Most High bless with experiences for learn. Whether we learn that's right now, some people don't learn. Some people learn.
Yes.
And move on
Some,
to greater experiences.
Or some learn faster than some.
Yeah.
Hashem.
But some always repeat the same mistakes. And the Most High say, put it this angle. You know, give him it this way, you know,
yes.
to see if him go realize, you know.
Yeah, but so yeah, so there's so Hashem.
Yeah, one,
hurry.
because of the weakness, you know. But when you overcome it, that's how your true strength come from. You see me? And that's how your spirit truly gets strength. Because you cannot have strength with so much weakness. You're weak, you see me?
You can't support it.
You need strength and build up your body with strength, you see me? So weakness off it out in order to have strength. You see me? So conquer the weakness. Attain true strength.
Yes.
You see me? Through the Most High power.
Yes.
You see me? Because most of these weaknesses, them in a chains by demons. You see me? Because once you do certain things, you know, demons have them right to do certain things to you.
Yes.
You see me?
It's like a transaction.
Yes, that's why I say the devil flee from the righteous.
Yes.
Once you overcome your weaknesses, then you will start live in a true righteousness. You see me? And that's how the devil flee.
Yes.
You see me? And that's how your true strength there. Because you're pure. You're clean.
Yes.
You see me?
Yeah, like that.
Yes, I clean and pure. You see me?
And that's what the man say, and that's right there. Right there, so clean and pure to overcome your weakness. Yeah? To overcome your weakness is to be truly strong. And so that is where we're going to leave it on the words of Brother Ramon Singh to remind you, yeah, to overcome your weakness is to be truly strong in the presence and the spirit of Yeshua Mashiach, yeah? Yahuwah, divine creator, yeah, in this time and space and age. It's also awesome to serve, yeah, your fellow humans with love and understanding. Put all of that into your strength of being, and you'll be the strongest human, and we'll learn from you. We'll love you. So continue on your path of absolute strength and confidence and faith. Continue to support the Seala Media Trail Life Experience, yeah, supporting, you know, the Patreon store, you know, merchandise, you know. That helps us to keep, you know, the functions of, you know, our ministry going. a ministry business going, yeah, there is wizio.com/Trail Television Network, personal mini therapy, mini healing sessions with yours truly. Send your questions, your personal thoughts, things that have been troubling you, that you want a deep, thought-provoking, thoughtful response that, sparks something inside of you. Yeah? And just continue to, support the movements of truth and love in the spirit of Yeshua wherever you are in your communities, and spread it in your heart and in yourself as well too. That increases strength. A strong and powerful individual will be an inspiration. Listen.
Perfect love.
Perfect love, brother.
Perfect love.
Perfect love. Aye.